Welcome back to Start Your Day. Regardless of your race, gender, or financial status, there's one guaranteed event that will happen to all of us, and that is death. However, just saying that work can stress people out and cause anxiety. So for today's Woosah Wednesday segment, Shannon LaNier is here to calm our nerves collectively about what really is inevitable. Shannon, we can't escape death and taxes, so what do we do now?
That's right, Sharon. You know what? Despite the fact that 100% of us at some point will pass away, slightly more than 50% of Americans do not have a will, and even more, around 75% do not have an advanced directive or health proxy. So studies also show that while discussing this topic may be uncomfortable at first, those who have a plan for when the unthinkable happens are less stressed. Plus, their families are less stressed when it does happen. And actually, they don't fight as much because everything's written out. Everybody's on the same page. Now, one of the things that will help you woosah into your estate planning is knowing what mistakes to avoid. So for that, I spoke with estate planning attorney LaNier Douglas.
The three biggest mistakes that people make in estate planning, number one is not doing it. Everybody is going to die, so you need to take care of it. Number two, people do it themselves. Susie or Mon is not the person to teach you how to do your estate planning. DIY kits are not going to cut it. And so we have lots of clients who have really problematic estate administrations because they try to do their planning themselves. And the third thing is working with an attorney who really doesn't have the ability to give you a comprehensive estate plan, or just simply doesn't listen to your needs, so that an estate plan that you want is the one that's created, not the one the lawyer just typically provides.
So once you avoid those mistakes and you're ready to get your life in order, there are a few essentials you'll need to start with.
The most important things to have in an estate plan are, first, your disability planning documents. In case you can't make your medical decisions or your financial decisions, you should have a healthcare proxy appointed and a financial power of attorney appointed to make those decisions for you. The second thing is to check your beneficiary designations, employee benefits, bank accounts, brokerage accounts, life insurance. All of those things allow you to have beneficiary designations, and it's very important to make sure they're coordinated with the rest of your plan and are updated regularly. I can't tell you how many people put their mom when they're 20 on their 401k plan, and when they pass married with children, their mom still takes that money. And finally, the most important thing in an estate plan is the will. The will is the only document where you can nominate an executor. The will is the only document where you can nominate guardians for your minor children. If you pick the person to be in charge of your estate, and if you pick the person to be in charge of your children, and in the case that you pass, then the court respects those wishes, and the whole thing is much easier.
And by the way, when selecting an attorney to work with, LaNier Douglas says, pick a licensed estate attorney who doesn't charge by the hour, who listens to you, asks questions, and doesn't just give you a cookie cutter will, something that's specific to your life. All right, Sharon, so the important question to you now, are you ready? Do you have all your paperwork in order just in case?
Well, not all of it, but
Right.
some of it. I've done pretty well with Shannon. I've done pretty well with this, mostly because I'm a mother and I'm a daughter. But it's funny because I set January as the month where I kind of go over things and fine tune things, and then you have to remember, since our children, we have minor children. There are certain things that the state will and won't allow if you don't, have it all spelled out. You can't just give a minor, God forbid, your entire estate, because that's not how it works. But I wonder what you discovered in your reporting on this Woosah Wednesday about who should be that person. because you want to trust them. If you don't get along with your brother, for example, it shouldn't be your brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any advice there about who it should be?
Oh, one of the things that she was telling us is that you want to pick somebody who's responsible enough. We all have family members, and some of them are not as responsible, that you can't have emotional connection to, oh, I have to make it this person because they're the oldest, and I have to make it this person because they're going to be offended if I don't pick them. Sometimes it's not even a family member, it's your best friend who knows your wishes and who will respect your wishes because they know your family is going to be a hot mess. So go with the person who's most responsible, even if they're not related to you. And most importantly also, especially with people who are afraid to talk about it or don't want to talk about it, start slowly having these discussions, because if your paperwork isn't in order, it can cause a mess in the family. Families have broken up over this stuff. So to try to have that in order is one of the best things, especially parents, can do for their children, and helps keep that family unit together.
Yeah, because if mom or dad has a bank account and you're not on it, or you don't have the proper paperwork, you know, here the state of Georgia is going to figure out things, and you might not like what they figure out, but cars and other things, all of it. And people don't want to have these conversations, like you said, because who wants to think about life without them? But if you love people and you know that it is necessary, it's going to happen, you're leaving them behind, I mean, you really have to do it, right? You have to.
So get it done, people. Get it done.